it has happened. I have become one of the older generation. Okay? Oh God, Jonelle, you hurt me chest with this. My chest plate abon me. Now, well, I have no idea how old Jonelle is, right? But I am old enough to remember what Scarborough, what coming in town to play mass in Scarborough was like during the 80s and the 90s. And I don't want you to get me wrong. I am all about the evolution of Carnival, of Tobago Carnival, and molding it into something better, bigger, all of these things. So without understanding the history, right? And when I say the history, I'm not talking about, oh, we have to remember what happened in Carnival in 1956 and them kind of things there. I'm talking about paying homage to what is the historical evolution of Carnival in Tobago. I remember about a decade ago now, I was on the boat coming back from Trinidad Carnival with a friend, right? And I was so excited. I think I'd played with, I can't remember who I played with that year, but I was so excited. I was telling this friend, I was like, oh my God, Tobago Carnival could be so awesome. It could be so much fun. And if we bring this element and that element in. And you know what he told me? He was like, here the issue with Tobago Carnival, at least for Tobagonians, right? It is the lack of anonymity. Okay, so hear me out with this. Tobagonians can go to Trinidad and get on as stink and dirty as they want, right? Without the nene or the tanty saying, Missy Devonne in Scarborough, Missy Devonne in Tongue, Missy how she carry on, right? Whereas, right, in Trinidad, nobody ain't know you. So you could get on nasty, dirty, and nobody ain't gonna be like, oh my God, who are her parents? Who are her parents, right? And that lack of anonymity is often the reason why you wouldn't find many Tobagonians, especially when they get to a certain age, supporting Tobago Carnival. Because, right, one of the requirements for Carnival is stink and dirtiness. So, you know, many people wouldn't support it because of that. But I've always found one of the flaws of Tobago Carnival to be that we don't find the people who love a kind of smaller, intimate carnival, right? Hear me out, right? All you know that Trinidad Carnival is extra, I mean, it is, the energy is like all the way up here, right? And that's fine. It's people who love that. I love that, right? And so I partake in that, right? Now, Tobago Carnival to me offers one of the most scenic places to have a carnival, right? You're playing mass right next to the water, right? And that is true whether you're in Roxborough, whether in Canaan, whether in Scarborough, right? And I just feel like we need to find the people who would enjoy a Tobago Carnival, right? Instead of saying, okay, well, we should just not have Carnival the same time as Trinidad because we're competing with them. If we're competing on frenzy and anonymity, then yeah, then I would say let we enter that race. But if we're competing on smaller, intimate, you know, and maybe not trying to sell, right, Tobago Carnival to other Tobagonians, right? Because I feel like that does really be the issue, right? We always trying to sell Tobagonians on why we should do this thing, as opposed to saying, wow, the whole world is our market, right? There's 7 billion people out there. Maybe at least 100,000 of them or 50,000 of them would be interested in a smaller, intimate carnival and be willing to pay for it. Now, of course, that has a lot to do with the market research and, you know, all of those types of things. The other part of it is this. To my knowledge, in recent years, there's always been a cruise ship in Tobago on the Carnival Tuesday. And when I say recent, I don't know if it's the last 3, and I take them the last 3 before the pandemic. I don't know how long. But there's always been a cruise ship in port. So my thing is, if there's a cruise ship in port in Scarborough, why aren't we creating something memorable, right? That these people would be like, oh my God, I happen to be in Tobago for Carnival, and it was so great. I had such an amazing time. I have to explore this carnival thing more. I have to either go back to Tobago for more that kind of carnival there, or they tell me about this Trinidad carnival that will be just on an even wider scale, and I'd love to go there too. I don't think we should just do away with Carnival. Tobago has always been a place that had more carnivals than Trinidad. At one point, we had 3 carnivals, right? We used to have Plymouth, and the one in October, Oktoberfest, right? So we've always been a place to me that has multiple carnivals. So I'm not, you know, I ain't ready yet, Jonelle, to do away. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Stop.